it's nice to see you here this morning. Glad you make it. My name is Mary Loveday. I'm from the Appleton Museum here in Ocala, Florida. And we are really enjoying having summer camp with you today and for the next few weeks. My camp this week is trying to make art out of things that you find in nature outside, be it rocks, sticks, leaves, whatever you can find, flowers. Today, we are going to make a weaving out of things, again, we find outside. Could be in your yard or anywhere. Nothing is wrong. Everything is good that you would like to use. And today, we are going to be painting with vegetables. No paintbrushes, just vegetables. We've got some celery and corn, broccoli, green peppers, all kinds of great stuff here. You can use whatever you want, anything that you might think that might make an interesting pattern. We're going to use, not use them so much like a brush, but stamps. Use stamps, you need a stamp pad. And what we've done is we've just got plates, something flat that you've got like that to put your paints in. I'm using tempera paint. You can also use acrylic or whatever you've got. Now, what we're going to do first, and if you're going to be cutting, I would suggest you have an adult here to help you. Some of mine are already cut. So what we cut these so we can find out what our patterns are going to look like. Okay, now how could you possibly paint with this? This would make a big brush, but I don't think we're going to use that. What I like to do is you just cut the pieces and see what kind of end is on them. Okay, we've got a little bit of a handle here. Now, actually, what I used this for was to make the seagulls in the picture. It could definitely be a wave. It's whatever you want it to be. Absolutely. Okay, and let's see what else we've got here. Another thing I had, again, how you cut it is up to you. I've got, okay, like this one. I'm just going to cut the ends off here. See, this celery has little ridges on it. You can use that. So we have all kinds of great paintbrushes. Broccoli is one of my favorites. Okay, well this, the top of it, I use just like it is. And if you look in these paintings, the one on the right on the bottom, I use that to paint the ground and also use it to paint the leaves in the tree and the tree trunk. Broccoli is very handy. But I'm going to cut this one to make my little tree. There you go. Here's a different tree. And the corn also, we can use the sides. I'll have, and you can just break this. You don't have to cut it. There we go. Because you can roll that in your paint. Okay, green peppers. I'm just going to cut a slice off of this. Again, please make sure you have an adult help. You can cut this into cool shapes. One like this, I used for the palm fronds in this tree over here. Well, some of the flowers were made with the end. See where the celery branches out here? See where it branches out here? I just cut it straight across that way. And that's how I made the small flowers under the tree in this painting here. You can cut it a different way than I do and come up with something wonderful. You can even use this, it's kind of big, but if you've got a smaller pepper, you can just use this whole side as a stamp. You can use the bottom as a stamp. Our next step is to start painting, but we don't want to start our final painting until you find out what kind of pattern what vegetables make. So we do test stamps first. And that way we have a reference so we know what we're going to get. Okay, first we're going to use this little piece of celery. Now yours can be different. You can use it to paint whatever you want. We're going to use this piece of celery, which to me looks like a flower. So let's have a red flower just gently in here. You don't want tons of paint on there, but you want to see how much paint you're going to need. I think that's flower. So you have to know what your stamps are going to create. And again, my favorite, the broccoli. I think these make great tree trunks. Okay, now this, last time I used it, looked like a tree trunk. Today it looks like a foot, doesn't it? So if you want to make a picture of barefoot on the beach, that's what you got. Okay. Now this, we're going to use the top of the broccoli. Okay, see, this is why we make test prints. You see how this is kind of a blob, and the next one looks pretty good, depending on what you're using it for. So that's why we have lots of test paper, so you get what you want with it. Now, I did suggest that you get some water because you may then have it handy, because some of the vegetables that you have may make a really nice pattern, but you want it in different colors and you'll have to rinse it off in between. Let's see what the corn does. Here's our, what we said that was the sun. Let's try that as a yellow sun. Even twisted a little bit. See, each thing you use is going to be a little bit different than mine. That's kind of looking like a flower, I think. See, everybody keeps palmetto leaves around, right? Paint some nice grass with that. Very good. We'll add that to our bunch. Let's see. Oh, also with the corn, and they're going to make different patterns also with how much paint they have on them. See, we haven't tried. Ooh, orange. You can roll that. That's pretty neat. Looks like a beehive. Haven't tried the green pepper. Let's see, what color haven't we used here? Some black. And see what you're actually making here, besides this being a test print, it's kind of like a palette, so you'll know what shapes you have to work with, and that's kind of, you can refer back to this when you are ready to make your print. All right, look, we have a person. I think I'm about ready to make our painting. Okay, well, we already have a beach scene, and we've got a field with flowers and a flower pot. I think since this is SoCal, I guess we better do like a horse farm or something. Well, a horse farm, I guess we're going to need grass first, aren't we? So what's going to make our best grass? Actually, palmetto fronds, and I think I'm going to paint some grass in here. And I think that's going to make more grass. How about some grass with some pasture with a pond? How's that? And we're going to try some broccoli grass. Okay, we've got some grass here, and okay, I think we should add a tree. This is a big piece of paper, so we'll use a big tree. Does that look like a good tree trunk? One reason I suggested a brush because see this whole thing is not going to fit in that tray. So we're gonna get some paint on there. Does that look like a pretty good tree trunk? It's a forest, so let's make a few. See how when you have different amounts of paint on it, it does different things. And I guess we need tops for our trees. I think I'm going to make it just when the trees are starting to turn colors in the fall. So that way we can use lots of colors in it. Remember after you put your vegetable in the paint, do it on your test print so you can see how it's going to look. We also want some branches in there. And again, you don't have to do a painting like mine. This is my painting. I'm just going to give you some ideas of what you can do. And every time you do something like this, you do it a little bit different because you're using a vegetable that's cut a little bit different. Okay, now we need some autumn leaves there. A little bit of yellow in there. And you can brush them into. Yeah, I think we could use a different branch. That looks more like a branch. I think we got the tree thing going in there. I'm thinking we need a little pond over here. Let's try that. And I think for that, I'm going to mix a little paint. A little bit of blue, a little bit of white. And then we can put the waves in. Guess there wouldn't be any waves at Horse Farm, but we'll put white caps in because the wind's blowing. How's it? Yeah, that looks like a good one. It's a horse farm by the sea. Let's see, what else do we need? We definitely need a seagull. Can always use a seagull. I think we'll need a little white in there, right? So we'll get a nearer one. Not the world's greatest seagull, but it'll work. And I guess we better put a horse farm in there. What's horse looking? Let's see. My horse was brown, so we'll try that. I think I can make this a horse. We'll see. It's all experimentation, which is the fun part. Let's see. Horse's tail. There's a horse's tail, I think. I could be wrong. If I don't do this well, it could also turn into a rock. Here we go. There's a tail. And this is going to be a grazing horse. That should work. See, the whole thing, that's all an experiment to see how it would work. He needs ears, horse ears. It's an Appaloosa. And finish him with a, gotta have a mane. Matches the tail. Forgot we got to do the sun, and the sun is corn. Some sun, about some rays of the sun. Very good. Okay, let's see. Then another bird. I do like birds. So we're gonna go bumblebee here. Again, very big bee. Let's see, bumblebee legs. There. And the bee has 6 legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more leg. Okay. Let me see how we're going to do that person. Here. I think standing behind the horse is going to work. And do some hair. And you kind of start out with one idea in mind and it kind of changes around. So it's really, really kind of an adventure here. And this is going to be a very simple boat. We'll call it a kayak. Boat. There you go. I'll even make it with a pink sail because I happen to have pink paint right here. There, sailboat. I know, not a great one. Okay. That's how we learn. Okay. And we're going to have to paint a kite string and then we're going to call this done. There you go. Okay. Now we're going to take, it's going to take me a minute to clean up here and then we're going to change activities. Okay. You can weave with anything. This is a very simple weaving. We're not weaving a rug or anything. I'm going to show you right here a small one that I did, but you can put flowers through here. Anyway, I've got pine needles, pieces of palmetto, which I learned also makes a good, just a little flower that was off a tree. It's gotten kind of dry yet. And just sticks. They don't have to be fancy sticks. They don't have to be just ones you like. I think it makes it a lot more interesting when it's got, you know, hooks and crooks and bumps on it. Okay. Now these are the materials I have today. I went and got some of them just in the back of the museum. Some of them came out of my yard. I didn't get any flowers. More. See, these have cool little seeds on them. I'm a big fan of magnolias, nice magnolia leaves. I believe that's an oak. But see, just anything will work as long as we can leave it. What we have to do, first we gotta get the frame of our weaving or our loom made. So we're going to decide what sticks we're going to use and lay them out. Let's see. We got a lot of stuff here, so I'm going to make a decent size one. Okay, I think that'll work. See, these have little twigs and things on them. That's all good. And first, obviously, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to tie them together. You can use whatever you want. I like the jute string because it looks a little bit more natural, but whatever you've got works. First, we'll start just tying this on here really good. Just a basic knot, nothing fancy. The important part here is we're going to wrap it 2 different ways. We're going to do it pretty tightly and then go the other way. Because once this is in a frame, you don't want it to get wonky and loose. Now again, this part that what we're making here is a loom. A loom is what they use when they're making any kind of weavings. And if this corner starts moving too much, this is fine here. So you can put some more twine on there. As you wind it, keep it tight. If you'd like, you can either cut your ends off or just tuck them underneath here. And see, the sticks sometimes get lichen and stuff on it. I don't even take that off because I think it looks cool. Okay. See, it's not necessarily exactly square. It's a little bit loose. But when you start weaving on it, it'll tighten it up a little bit. And it doesn't even have to be that tight, as long as everything stays in. I think I like that side best. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start this, but I'm going to describe it first. When you're doing a weaving, your first weave, what you start doing, either it'll go sideways or up and down, but the first one is called a warp. Okay. And then when you go this way, it's called a weft. Okay. There's a warp and a weft. Now on this one, our twine is going to be our warp, and we're going to weave our findings into it, and they are going to be the weft. Just new words. You don't have to worry about it. And weft, but the first one will be the warp. That you're going to not cut your string or twine. You're going to leave it on the roll. Again, nice and tight. This is going to be the only place you're going to tie it till the end. So you're going to go over. And under here, then over. And under. We're going to do this for a while, so. And if it gets loose, that's fine. You can always tighten it up a little bit. And it doesn't have to, this doesn't have to be super tight. It just needs to be tight enough to stay on, because the things we weave into it have to go through. Just tightening these up a little bit. Okay, I think that's it. And again, before you tie it off, we're going to tighten it up a little bit. Just pull at the bottom there. And adjust it how you want it. So you're doing that. I'm going to finish it right here. Tie it off real good. Okay, now we have these things started. Now when we go through, we're going to start in here, go under here, go under here, go under the next one, okay? Because if we just put it this way, it's not going to hold. So it has to go in and out and in and out. So over the top, under the next one, over, under. I'm going to push that up tight. And again, you can do these in any order you want, using anything you want. Just depends on the supplies you have. I think I'm going to put a few of these in. You can leave them long or cut them, either way. These tear apart easy. And when you put in that second one, I'm sorry I didn't mention before, when you put it in the second time, the second one, you put it opposite the way you did the first one. So this one went in over, this one will go in under. See, the more you put in, the more it tightens up that warp so you can, it'll hold your findings. And I think I'm going to put a couple of those on the bottom. If you change your mind where you want them, you can just scoot them up and back. I think I'm going to put this in the middle. This is very cool. Now these don't go all the way across, but that's okay. They don't have to. If you look in this one, I just wove them through in bunches. Okay, one big bunch of them across. And if you miss a strand and go the wrong way, don't worry about it. At this point, it's going to hold together okay. See, and this is already tightening this up. When you push them down, you can feel it's getting tighter and tighter. Now I'm going to weave this one back this way so we can have more ends like that over here. And we're going to go down at the other end. I like having the different colors, the brown and the green. It really makes each of them stand out. Yeah, like that. And a lot of this stuff you can see is fresh and green. This can look just as nice when they're dried out, or you can change them out from time to time. Put different things in here if you happen to find something you'd like in. It doesn't have to stay within this square. You can, even if you've got a little rock or shell, once it starts getting tightly woven like that, you can stick it in here. Nifty little thing with berries here. Some berries in there. Love these oak leaves, they're very pretty. Stick them anywhere you want. Okay, I'm going to hold this up for you. I think we put everything in there we can put in there. So we're going to have something to hang it up with. So I'm just going to get some more twine out. One on here. If you don't like using the twine, you can use maybe some black yarn so it wouldn't show. I like that this shows the twine through here, but again, this is yours. You do it how you like it. Okay. Nice thing about this, everybody's is going to be completely different because you'll use different sticks, different leaves and things. Well, it's been great being with you today. I look forward to seeing you on Friday.